Hi, everyone. My name is Jared Doe, and I'm calling in from Phoenix, Arizona. It is a cold and rainy night here in the desert tonight, which is a really rare weather for us. The Nino has moved in. I'm sure you guys out in California are getting rain right now as well. We're loving it. It's very rare for us, but I'm new to Fuller. This is all new to me, and this is my second quarter actually. So had a few classes last semester, and now I'm jumping into two more for winter. And I'm an MAT student, so obviously just starting out, and really excited about just the community of learning that I'm in, and have just loved every minute of it so far. And so real excited to be in this class, and excited to learn from all of you, and just talk about kind of what God is up to in the world. And I'm my context is I'm a church planner here in Phoenix. My wife and I started a church about a year ago called Desert City Church, and it's going well. We've been blessed with just some great partners here in the valley. Some of our sister churches who are just helping out, and we're still going well after everything's going well after 1 year. So it's exciting. My wife and I have been married. My wife, her name is Marcy. We've been married for 11 years, and we're both from Phoenix. She went to school in Waco, Texas at Baylor University, and I went to school for college at Anderson University, just north of Indianapolis. And so we knew each other in high school, but kind of got reacquainted after college, and we've been married for 11 years now. We have three children. Our daughter Sophia is 8 years old. Our son Micah is 5, and then we have another son named Ezra, and he just turned 2. And so we keep pretty busy with him. Our hands are full. We don't sleep much. I got bags under my eyes. I'm always tired, but we love it. It's just it's a blast, and so excited to be a part of Fuller, and yeah, thinking of just the question, just trying to reflect on suffering. It's hard to speak into that. I haven't really suffered a lot in my life, and I've gone through some challenging times for sure, but nothing compared to what a lot of people go through. And part of my story is, I was a when I first started in ministry out of college, I was a student ministry pastor and did that for about 6 or 7 years. Then I was a missions pastor, and as a missions pastor, I really got to see. I got exposed to just the church globally, and got to see some really neat places. We were working with the church up in Northeast China, and so got to spend some time kind of traveling to China, working with our partners out there, seeing North Korea. The church that we were working at was right up on the border of North Korea. Also spent some time in the Middle East. When I say time, I just mean trips back and forth. Never actually lived there. But working with a group out of Beirut, Lebanon, and so I got to do a lot of work back in like 2010. And we were actually working right on the border of Syria, kind of before all the civil war stuff broke out over there. We were actually working with refugees from Iraq that were being held by this group as they were kind of taking care of them in Beirut. And so I got to really see some really cool places, but also was exposed to just how really wild the world is, and to see some people who are truly suffering. And that was very humbling for me growing up, here in America, here in Phoenix. Just been real, kind of sheltered compared to what a lot of people have gone through. So, but I have gone through challenging times. Nothing compared to what a lot of people, especially throughout the world, have gone through. But I've gone through some challenging times in ministry, gone through disappointments, gone through failures. Probably one of the more difficult things for me is my wife and I moved to Dallas, Texas for a few years. And we were part of a church startup out there, and it just crashed and burned. It just failed miserably. And there was a lot of great stories that came out of it, but there was a lot of just challenges and pain. And I don't know if that was suffering, but it was definitely painful. And it was a time of growth for me, and a time of learning. And I think it helps me now. I've always been passionate about church planning. Not the best church planner, but I've always been passionate about it. My dad was a church planner, and I grew up in that context. And so a lot of the pain that I went through, I think even on that journey to Texas and back to Phoenix, I think God was just doing something in my heart, and it's been real helpful. And it's been helpful to understand other people who go through experiences that don't work out the way that they would expect them to. And so I don't want to call it suffering. It was definitely a painful time for me, and I think that God was prepping something in my heart. He was growing me as a pastor and as a disciple, and I'm grateful for it now that I'm out of it. Definitely not grateful going through it. That was a tough trip, a few years out there, but I think that God's really kind of used it for my story, and it's just been able to really help me. I think just pastor people better, pastor people who are going through just difficult times, and so that's kind of my story of what I've seen in the world and kind of what I've experienced suffering wise. But I'm real excited to be a part of this class. I think Jeremy, you were in my New Testament class last semester, so it's good to see you again, and just looking forward to learning from all of you and just the conversations that are going to take place. So we will see you all soon online, and yeah, we'll chat with you soon.